Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. He believes it is time to reveal Drew's affair with Nina Reeves, but Tracy believes they should wait because the information may be more useful in the future. She then asks if he knows what is going on between Lois and BLQ. Ned disagrees and claims that he now tries to keep out of his adult daughter's lives and respects her privacy. Jack tells Carly he needs her. Carly leaves GH and heads directly to the WSB to see Jack. She needs to warn him that Jason Morgan has stated that whatever awful things happen to Carly, he will do to Jack personally. Jack listens but doesn't care since he blames himself for her near-death experience, and he expects Carly to flee now. Jack tells Carly that he needs her, and Carly assures him that she will not leave him since she too needs him. General Hospital recap March 25th. Carly and Jack need each other, and Sunny collapses while Ava watches. Ava gains the upper hand over Sunny. Christina Corinthos pays a visit to Sunny Corinthos to provide an update on Ava's financial status. She wants him to battle for custody, because she believes Ava's finances prevent her from caring for Avery. He says he will think about it while Christina goes upstairs to play with Donna. General Hospital recap March 25th. Carly and Jack need each other, and Sunny collapses while Ava watches. Ava unexpectedly arrives to Sunny's and asks for a $2 million loan. He says he'll give it to her if they amend the custody agreement, leaving Ava with only 2 weekends of visitation each month. They start fighting and Sunny blames her for other people's deaths, so she backtracks on her refusal to visit Avery in a burn unit like the one his kid is currently in. Sunny grips his chest and collapses, with his heart medicine just out of reach. Ava takes a few steps back from him and taunts him, wondering whether he needs those medications. According to General Hospital spoilers, while this notion may appear to be out of left field, it is also probable. General Hospital specifications: Tracy keeping Oscar captive. Many fans feel that Tracy is holding Oscar captive. Many fans remember Oscar as Drew and Dr. Kim Nero's kid. Tracy visits her family crypt at least 3 times a week, according to Sasha, who mentioned it in the most recent episode. Many people have wondered if Tracy is keeping someone captive there. It may easily be a character who is thought to have died, such as Oscar, and she is giving him supplies multiple times a week. As many of our devoted soap spoiler readers would imagine, the internet had a lot to say about this speculative plot line. Some even said, it would be a good plot twist. Everyone is mentioning AJ, but I could not bear that character. I wouldn't want Lila, Edward or Alan either because their original/most iconic actors have all died. The twist that I would really like, if we are going to bring a Quartermain back from the dead, is Oscar. Imagine how awesome it would be if Oscar came out hating Drew and publicly ruining him. General Hospital specs. What is Tracy actually doing? A different fan wrote. Drew can try to deflect attacks from every other member of the Q family by calling them hypocrites and pointing out things that they've done wrong. But what could he say to Oscar? And then there was this comment. This just made me realize. Since you mentioned Oscar, he's also buried in the Q vault, correct? So Drew's determination in his Move the Crypt campaign would necessitate moving Oscar as well. Did he not consider this? Of course not. He only thinks of himself. Drew declares war, Christina's lethal plot, Laura's rage, Jordan's warning. A tale of betrayal, vengeance, and power struggles. In the cutthroat world of high-stakes drama, alliances are fragile, and vengeance is a dish best served cold, or lethally. When Drew declares war, the battlefield is set, and no one is safe. Meanwhile, Christina's lethal plot unfolds with precision, threatening to dismantle lives in her quest for dominance. Laura's rage burns hotter than ever, a force of nature that refuses to be contained, while Jordan's warning echoes ominously, signaling that the storm is far from over. This explosive combination of betrayal, revenge, and power struggles creates a narrative that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats. Drew declares war. A man pushed to the brink. Drew has always been a strategic thinker, a man who calculates his moves before striking. But when pushed too far, even the most composed individuals snap. His declaration of war isn't just a statement, it's a promise of destruction. The catalyst for war. What could drive a man like Drew to abandon diplomacy and embrace all-out conflict? Perhaps it was a betrayal so deep that forgiveness was never an option. Maybe it was the loss of something or someone he held dear. Whatever the reason, Drew's war isn't just about winning. It's about ensuring his enemies suffer before they fall. The targets of his wrath. Drew's enemies should be wary. He doesn't make empty threats. His war will be fought on multiple fronts: financial ruin, public humiliation, and, if necessary, physical confrontation. No one who has wronged him will escape unscathed. The consequences of his fury. War has collateral damage. Allies may become casualties. Innocents may get caught in the crossfire. But Drew is beyond caring. His singular focus is retribution, and he will burn everything down to achieve it. Christina's lethal plot. The puppet master's game. While Drew wages open war, Christina operates in the shadows. Her methods are subtle, her schemes intricate. She doesn't just want to defeat her enemies. She wants to dismantle them piece by piece. The mastermind at work. Christina has always been a master manipulator. She plays people like chess pieces, moving them into position before delivering the killing blow. Her latest plot is her most dangerous yet. A web of deceit designed to destroy her rivals without ever getting her hands dirty. Who is in her crosshairs? Is it an old enemy? A new threat? Or perhaps someone she once loved but now sees as an obstacle? Christina's lethal plot doesn't discriminate. Anyone standing in her way is a target. The poison in her plan. What makes Christina's scheme so deadly isn't just its execution. It's the psychological torment she inflicts. She doesn't just want her victims defeated. She wants them broken, questioning every decision they've ever made. By the time they realize they've been played, it will already be too late. Laura's rage. A woman scorned. Laura has always been a force to be reckoned with, but now she is pure, unfiltered fury. Someone has crossed a line, and they will regret it. The last straw. What could ignite such rage in Laura? A betrayal from a trusted ally? A loved one suffering? Or perhaps a revelation so shocking that it shattered her world? Whatever the cause, Laura's anger is not just emotion. It's a weapon. Her path of destruction. Laura isn't one for subtlety when enraged. She will confront her enemies head-on, and God help anyone who stands in her way. Her wrath is swift, brutal, and unforgiving. Will she go too far? Rage can blind even the most rational minds. As Laura unleashes her fury, she risks losing herself in the process. Will vengeance consume her, or will she find a way to channel her anger before it's too late? Jordan's warning. A storm is coming. Jordan has seen the signs. She knows what's brewing, and her warning is not to be ignored. The prophet of doom. Jordan has always had an uncanny ability to foresee disaster. When she speaks, people should listen. Her latest warning suggests that the chaos unfolding is just the beginning. Something far worse is on the horizon. What does she know? Is Jordan privy to secrets no one else has uncovered? Has she pieced together the dangerous games being played around her? Her warning is vague but urgent, leaving those around her scrambling to decipher its meaning. Will anyone heed her? History has shown that those who ignore Jordan's warnings do so at their own peril. But in a world where trust is scarce, will anyone take her seriously before it's too late? The collision of fates. With Drew declaring war, Christina weaving her lethal web, Laura consumed by rage, and Jordan sounding the alarm, the stage is set for an explosive confrontation. Alliances will be tested. Friendships will shatter. Loyalties will be questioned. In the heat of battle, no one can be trusted. No one is safe. When power players like these collide, casualties are inevitable. Who will survive the coming storm? The aftermath. When the dust settles, nothing will be the same. Some will rise, others will fall, and the balance of power will shift forever. Conclusion. A battle for the ages. The war Drew has declared, the plot Christina has set in motion, the fury Laura unleashes, and the warning Jordan delivers, all intertwine into a saga of vengeance, betrayal, and survival. In this high-stakes game, only the strongest will prevail. The world of General Hospital is no stranger to high-stakes drama, heart-wrenching betrayals, and emotional breakdowns, but the latest developments involving Carly, Jack, Sunny, and Ava have taken the tension to new heights. The intertwined fates of these characters reveal deep-seated vulnerabilities, unresolved conflicts, and desperate needs that bind them together in unexpected ways. Carly and Jack, despite their complicated history, find themselves leaning on each other in a moment of crisis, while Sunny's shocking collapse under Ava's watchful eyes sets the stage for a dramatic fallout. This 2,000-word analysis explores the emotional weight of these scenes, the character dynamics at play, and the potential repercussions that could reshape their lives forever. Section 1. Carly and Jack, a complicated but necessary bond. Carly Corinthos and Jasper Jack Jacks have always had a tumultuous relationship, marked by fierce clashes, betrayals, and fleeting moments of understanding. Yet, in their latest interactions, it becomes clear that despite their differences, they need each other, whether they want to admit it or not. 1.1 Shared trauma and emotional reliance. Both Carly and Jack have endured immense personal losses, betrayals, and battles with their own demons. Carly, still reeling from the fallout of her marriage to Sunny and the ever-present threats to her family, finds herself at a crossroads where her usual defiance isn't enough. Jack, on the other hand, has spent years rebuilding his life after numerous setbacks, including his complicated history with Sunny and his own moral dilemmas. In this moment of crisis, their shared pain becomes a bridge rather than a barrier. Carly, who typically relies on her fierce independence, is forced to acknowledge that she can't face everything alone, especially when it comes to protecting those she loves. Jack, who has often played the role of the antagonist in her life, surprisingly becomes a pillar of support, offering not just strategic help but emotional solidarity. 1.2 The unspoken understanding between them. What makes their dynamic so compelling is the unspoken understanding that exists beneath their verbal sparring. They don't always like each other, but they respect each other's strength. Jack recognizes Carly's resilience, even when it borders on recklessness, while Carly, despite her distrust, knows that Jack's intelligence and resourcefulness can be invaluable in a crisis. Their scenes together crackle with tension, not just from past conflicts, but from the reluctant acknowledgement that they might be each other's best chance at survival. This reluctant alliance could either forge a deeper connection or explode spectacularly if old wounds resurface. Section 2. Sunny's collapse, a breaking point. While Carly and Jack navigate their uneasy partnership, Sunny Corinthos faces a crisis of his own, one that leaves him physically and emotionally shattered. His sudden collapse, witnessed by none other than Ava Jerome, is a moment loaded with symbolism and foreshadowing. 2.1 The weight of Sunny's empire crumbling. Sunny has long been the untouchable king of Port Charles's underworld, a man who thrives on control even as chaos swirls around him. But recent events, betrayals, health scares, and the unraveling of his personal life have chipped away at his invincibility. His collapse isn't just physical, it's the manifestation of everything he's been suppressing. The timing is particularly devastating. With enemies circling and his relationships in turmoil, Sunny's vulnerability has never been more apparent. His breakdown could signify the beginning of a major shift in his character, one where he is forced to confront his mortality and the consequences of his choices. 2.2 Ava's role. Witness or catalyst. The fact that Ava is the one who watches Sunny collapse adds another layer of intrigue. Their history is fraught with deception, violence, and uneasy truces. Does she help him, or does she see this as an opportunity? Ava has always been a master manipulator, but her feelings towards Sunny are complicated. There's lingering resentment but also a strange kinship. They've both lost loved ones, both been villains and victims. Her reaction in this moment could redefine their relationship. If she chooses to aid him, it might signal a reluctant alliance. If she walks away or worse exploits his weakness, it could ignite a war with no winners. Section 3. The aftermath. What comes next? The fallout from these events will ripple across Port Charles, affecting alliances, romances, and power structures. 3.1 Carly and Jack's fragile alliance. Will their temporary partnership evolve into something more? Could they become unexpected allies? Or will old grudges resurface? If Sunny's condition worsens, Carly may be forced to rely on Jack even more, something that could either strengthen their bond or destroy it completely. 3.2 Sunny's health crisis and its implications. If Sunny's collapse leads to a serious health diagnosis, it could force him to step back from his empire, leaving a power vacuum. Who will step in? Jason's absence has already left a void, and with enemies like Cyrus Renault lurking, Sunny's weakness could spell disaster. 3.3 Ava's next move. Ava has always been unpredictable. Will she use this moment to gain leverage? Or will she shock everyone by showing compassion? Her decision could determine whether she remains a villain or begins a redemption arc. Loads of developments. Michael returns to witness Jason raising his child with Sasha. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Michael Corinthos may return to witness Jason Morgan raise his child with Sasha Gilmore Corbin. How will Michael react if he returns home to discover Jason in full-blown daddy mode? Fans of General Hospital know Michael was granted an open-ended leave, implying that he will return sooner or later. Michael is being treated in a prestigious burn center in Germany, so it's only a matter of time before he's well enough to return to Port Charles. Of course, Chad Duell has not ruled out returning to the ABC soap in the future, so keep that in mind. We should also examine the prospect of a recast, especially if Jason and Sasha's tale calls for it. What happens when the kid is born, and Sasha may get overwhelmed as a single parent? Sasha may become more likely to accept help from Jason, who is posing as her child's father. Jason and Sasha have recently developed a bond, and they may end up falling in love. This might pave the path for a genuine family to grow as Sasha and Jason raise the child together. Just when Jason and Sasha begin to live in a lovely bubble with this little one, Michael may return and rock everything up. Following Michael's homecoming, he may realize what he's missing out on and properly claim the daddy label. It's possible that Michael will be determined to raise this child on his own and push Jason away. Jason may have grown quite devoted to the baby or toddler by that point. If Michael decides to reclaim his proper role as this child's father, Jason may experience some grief. Michael, on the other hand, only consented to back off when he felt Sasha would raise the baby on her own. Although Michael wanted Jason to watch for Sasha, witnessing Jason play the role of a doting father figure may completely change his mind. Do you believe Michael will return prepared to recover his child and reclaim the father role from Jason? Will this hinder Jason and Sasha's plans to start a family? General Hospital spoilers indicate Michael's rehabilitation will hopefully continue in the meantime, so stay tuned for updates on his doctor's prognosis and any news they may have. Drew declares war, Christina's lethal plot, Laura's rage and Jordan's warning. Brooklyn's warning, Tracy and Stella's connection, Jordan's concern, Laura's rage, Lulu's anxiety, and Drew's ultimatum will all air on the next episode of General Hospital. The General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, March 26, 2025 are here. Lulu Spencer admits on tomorrow's show. Christina Corinthos Davis goes on a warpath. Laura Collins also conflicts with Ezra Boyle. Continue reading to learn more about what will happen in the next episode of ABC's soap opera. Lulu Spencer confesses. On Wednesday, March 26th, fans may anticipate Lulu to make a confession. This will be addressed to Cody Bell, not Dante Falconeri. In a preview clip, Lulu informs Cody that something did come of it. While Lulu feels bad about not notifying Dante that he has a child out there, Harrison Chase persuaded her to keep quiet. Then, in another startling move, Lulu abruptly left her position as Brooke Lynn Quartermain's assistant at Deception. Christina Corinthos Davis warpath. Christina will be on the warpath. Fans just watched Christina encourage Sonny Corinthos to move quickly, because Ava Jerome's financial problems were worse than they imagined. Sonny said they had already settled everything, but then he spoke with Ava. During the chat, Sonny experienced chest symptoms and collapsed to the ground. Ava is not aware of Sonny's cardiac issue. Ava saw the tablets fall to the ground, but she plans to make a harsh and hazardous deal. The art gallery owner is desperate and will most likely give Sonny his medications in exchange for something. When Christina finds out about this, she may go after Ava directly. Later, Ava will brief Rick Lansing. Rick may not be able to pull her out of this situation. Drew Kane Quartermain's threat. According to General Hospital teasers for tomorrow, Drew Kane Quartermain has a terrible encounter with Curtis Ashford. In a preview clip, Drew tells his former pal that if he wants to turn ugly, he can. Since it appears that we are getting closer to a Drew whodunit, the suspect list is getting fairly extensive. Curtis will be questioned by Jordan Ashford. Wednesday, March 26, 2025. Fans might also expect Laura and Ezra to clash. In fact, Laura seems surprised by what someone is saying. Then he says, "What are you implying?" So that must be for the councilman. Stella Henry and Tracy Quartermain make a toast. Brooklyn also encourages someone to go away while they still can. Carly and Jack need each other, and Sunny collapses while Ava watches. Did you miss General Hospital on Tuesday, March 25th? If so, here's an updated recap. Jocelyn Jacks takes a shot in the face from Vaughn, who then informs her she can leave training and go see her mother. She assures him that she is not leaving and kicks him to the floor. She definitely has a damaged foot, and Vaughn advises Joss on when to get assistance. He covers her foot as they converse briefly. He tells her about his experience as a WSB trainee, and lets Joss in just a little bit. Carly Spencer is about to leave the hospital AMA when Rick arrives to speak with Liz. Elizabeth Baldwin tries to stop her. She also agrees, like everyone else in Carly's life, that she should avoid Jack. Carly is tired up with everyone telling her how to live her life. She claims it is worse than the poisoning was. Rick Lansing arrives to speak with Liz shortly after Carly has left. She is curious about Portia Robinson's current situation. Rick can't offer much, but he does inform Liz that if she could acquire a list of all the lab reports Portia has requested in the last year, that might help her. Lulu has an agenda. Lulu Spencer storms into Jack Brennan's office and asks if he is certain Valentine Cassadine is on his way to Geneva. Her primary and occasionally sole worry is, of course, her daughter. Jack tells her that the WSB can get to Valentine, where he is now going to stay, and that Charlotte Cassadine will not be collateral damage. Meanwhile, at Deception, Lulu is late, and Brooklyn Quartermain is upset because she is unable to access her computer. Maxie Jones is confident that Lulu will be there shortly. Tracy Quartermain comes, asking where Lois Cerullo is and why. Lois normally makes a spectacular exit before departing for Bensonhurst, but this time she simply left. BLQ admits to Tracy that she and her mother have been bickering, but she tries to brush it off as nothing. Tracy knows otherwise. Lulu finally arrives at Deception and informs Brooklyn that she has chosen to quit. The visit from Brooklyn's husband, who warned her if she went anywhere near his wife, made Lulu's decision simple. BLQ is astounded to learn that Chase has paid her a visit, but Lulu can't believe she didn't send him herself. Plotting and planning, Emma Drake and Gio Palmieri enter the Quartermain living room to talk to Ned Quartermain. They tell him that they have devised a plan to rescue the family crypt by essentially offering the city the same amount of land on a different portion of the property. Ned says he'll think about it, but he may already have an idea. Tracy returns home, and Ned advises that they use the information they've been holding onto to quiet Drew Quartermain. Michael Corinthos had been gone a long time. Too long. When he left Port Charles, it was with a heavy heart and a restless soul, needing time and space to figure out his life away from the constant turmoil of family drama, mob wars, and broken relationships. He had built a new life elsewhere, far from the influence of Sonny Corinthos, Carly Spencer, and the ever-looming presence of the Quartermains. But no matter how far he went, Port Charles was in his blood, and the pull to return home had finally become too strong to ignore. As he drove through the familiar streets, memories flooded back, some joyful, some painful. His thoughts drifted to Sasha Gilmore, the woman who had once shared his dreams of building a future together. Their relationship had been a whirlwind, filled with passion, heartbreak, and loss. The death of their child Liam had shattered them both, and in the aftermath they had drifted apart, unable to mend the pieces of their broken hearts. Now, as he approached the penthouse that Jason Morgan had once called home, Michael braced himself for what he might find. He had heard the rumors Jason, his uncle and longtime mentor, had returned from the dead. But what he hadn't expected were whispers that Jason was now raising a child with Sasha. Michael knocked on the door, his pulse quickening as he heard footsteps approaching. When the door swung open, he found himself staring into the face of Jason Morgan, as stoic and unreadable as ever. "Michael," Jason said, his voice neutral, revealing nothing. "Didn't expect to see you back in town." Michael swallowed hard. "Yeah, I didn't expect to be back either. But things change. Can I come in?" Jason stepped aside, allowing Michael to enter. The penthouse looked different, softer, warmer. There were signs of a child everywhere. Toys scattered on the floor, a baby monitor on the counter, a stroller parked near the couch. And then Michael saw her. Sasha stood in the middle of the room, cradling a small child in her arms. A boy, maybe a little over a year old, with soft blonde curls and striking blue eyes. Eyes that reminded Michael of himself. Sasha's expression was a mixture of shock and hesitation. Michael. Michael felt like the air had been knocked from his lungs. Sasha. Is that your son? She exchanged a glance with Jason before nodding. Yes. This is Daniel. Daniel. The name echoed in Michael's mind as he tried to process what he was seeing. And Jason, he's raising him with me, Sasha finished, her voice gentle but firm. We're a family. Michael ran a hand through his hair, struggling to find the right words. I didn't know. No one told me. Jason folded his arms. You weren't here, Michael. The unspoken words hung heavy in the air. You left. Michael's gaze dropped to the boy in Sasha's arms. Is he mine? A silence stretched between them before Sasha slowly shook her head. No, Michael. Daniel is Jason's son. The words should have brought relief, but instead, they sent a fresh wave of confusion through Michael. He had never imagined Jason and Sasha together. Jason, who had always been loyal to Carly and Sunny's world, who rarely allowed himself attachments beyond Sam, had somehow built a life with Sasha? How? He finally asked. How did this happen? Sasha shifted Daniel to her other arm, sighing softly. After you left, I was in a dark place. I lost Liam. I lost you. I didn't think I would ever heal. But Jason, he was there. He helped me through the worst of it. He understood loss in a way no one else did. Jason spoke then, his voice calm and even. Sasha and I never planned this, Michael. Just happened. We leaned on each other, and eventually we found something worth holding on to. Michael's chest tightened. And Daniel? Sasha hesitated before answering. He's Jason's biological son. His mother was someone from Jason's past, but she wasn't able to be in his life. Jason and I decided to raise him together. Michael nodded slowly, trying to make sense of it all. This was not the homecoming he had expected. He had thought he would return to the same world he had left behind, to familiar roles and relationships. But everything had shifted in his absence. Sasha had moved on. Jason, once a figure of unwavering solitude, had built a family. And he, Michael Corinthos, was the outsider now. I don't know what to say, Michael admitted. I guess. I'm just surprised. Sasha smiled softly. So were we. But it feels right. It feels like home. Michael looked at Jason, searching his face for something. Some sign that this was temporary, that it could all change. But Jason's expression was resolute, unwavering. He had made his choice. Michael exhaled, then forced a small smile. Daniel's a lucky kid. He's got two people who love him. Jason gave a small nod, an unspoken truce between them. He does. As Michael turned to leave, he realized something. Port Charles had moved on without him. And now he would have to figure out where he fit into this new world, if he fit at all.